Hi, welcome to Leap Taken. This is Mika, and here at Leap Taken, I talk about all things witchy, craft related, law of attraction, manifesting, esoteric, and everything else in between. And today, I want to talk about a subject: how to know if magic is real. Full disclosure, I have been recording this particular video in pieces because my camera is being very weird. Um, so hopefully I don't make reference to something I haven't already said that you haven't heard because I'm splicing videos together. It's been a tech day for technology for me. We're just gonna say that, okay? But I think this video is worth doing and putting out, so I don't want to stop. I'm just gonna get it right. All right. So how to know if magic is real? I'm gonna give you the answer right up front because you deem it so, because I deem it so, you deem it so. That's why it's real. So that's the short answer. But the tips in between is what I'm going to get into. So if you're asking this question, now this is for the person who is actually a practitioner or attracted to being a practitioner. You might not have done the spell yet, but I'm getting into that. This is for people who are already, vibing with witchcraft, paganism, um, in general. You're already attracted to this. You might have bought some crystals. You're not foreign to this, and you're not against it. Because those who are asking, who are against it, who are not drawn to this or attracted to it, we know why they're asking. It's a different reason. But this is a conversation to us practitioners, and typically it's probably going to be a lot of the newbies. Let's just be honest, because if you've been doing spell casting, you've been casting spells, doing successful spells, or spells in general, you're probably not asking this question anymore. So this is typically for people who are maybe a little bit more newer to it. So you have to ask yourself why you're asking the question. Did you do a spell and you're apprehensive about it working? Have you not done any spells yet because you still aren't sure how real this whole thing is? You bought some stuff, some tools, crystals, candles. They're just sitting there collecting dust because you're still on the fence about what's real and what's not. Are you just curious about other witches? You see other witches and they seem to be having success. And is it really magic? Like, is that really what's working here? Or is there something else going on? You're asking those types of questions. So once you understand the motivation behind why you're asking, how to, is this real? Is this magic thing real? Is this really going to work? Is it real? Once you get to the motivation behind that, and start to unpack that, things will go a lot smoother. You won't feel the need to ask that question. So here's how you will go about doing it. So to the witch with a couple spells under her belt, still, asking that question, I would say, what is to be gained by being doubtful? It's all energy, you know, thought forms, thinking, your emotional reaction, all your mental vibe, all of that sort of stuff is just some level of energy. So believing it or not believing it, once you make the decision, that energy was spent. So you could choose this or you could choose that. I choose to believe. I choose to not have the doubt, because once you realize it's all just energy, including how you're thinking. One, learn to control your thoughts, manifesting, law of attraction, witchcraft, all that sort of stuff. They all kind of go like this. It's all about controlling your thoughts. And sometimes that's hard, and me included. I'm a natural born worrywart, so it is ongoing work to keep me from being that way. I'm very passionate about certain things. I get like upset and I get angry and, very disappointed about stuff. So I got to keep all those emotions and things like that in check. Don't deny them, but, I let them rise to the surface and then dissipate off. Like I don't stay on that energy. I'm aware of that myself. Be aware of that. Do the work to know who you are, first of all, as an individual and then as a witch. That helps understanding, because sometimes emotions cloud things. Excuse me, emotions cloud things, and we get a little confused about what's working, what's not, and all that sort of stuff. So, be clear about who you are and the energy that you're bringing. Um, as far as doubt is concerned and all that sort of stuff. finally, I just want to say, do your spells. Let the universe do its thing. Let it show up for you. Let it do the work. Think of it like that. That might be helpful. Some people really identify more with the whole, once it's in the universe, finishes it out. It connects the dots. It makes things happen. Maybe go with that for some time if you're struggling, because the power comes from within. It comes from you. So you gotta feel comfortable with that until you quite get. Excuse me, I'm joking. Until you quite get there, think you reached in, got the power, sent it out into the universe. Work with that for now. And the other question was what to do, if you're unsure of your spell or of the work you would like to do. You want to do spell work, but you're unsure if it's going to work. You haven't done anything yet. You bought the stuff. You just, you haven't done anything with it yet because you're just kind of like not sure all this magic thing really works. So to that, I would say to have patience, stay grounded. No, witchcraft is not like what you see in movies and on TV. Accept that and be okay with that. A lot of people want it to be this, and they think that that's the real witchcraft. Excuse me. And that the celebrities and Illuminati and the elite or whatever, they're the ones, guarding it, and they know the real answers. There are natural laws. There's physics, science. I'm talking now. You live here on this planet. You're connected to it. So your body, by default, is going to be aligned with natural law. So no, blue light is not going to come out my finger, because where would it come from? Where would it come from without burning my finger? The tissue, the skin that I have is not made for fire. If something that hot is shooting out lasers and things like that, that would hurt me. And my body's not built for that. Yours isn't either. Natural law. Things happen for a reason. Excuse me. Allergy season. How can I get to blue light shooting on my hand and I haven't licked allergies yet? Seasonal allergies. So, one thing at a time, humans. Anyway, I would also say maybe work on the spirituality component of paganism, witchcraft, and so forth before you start spell casting. This is for the person who just hasn't done the spell yet, because there's so much uncertainty in their minds about it, and they think they have to be 100% sure. You should know to trust yourself and to believe in the work that you're doing, the power that you have, the ability to affect energy. Yes, you should believe that. But in the meantime, work on the spiritual component. Set up an ancestor altar. Set up an altar to a specific goddess that resonates with you, or a god, or to spirits. Work with other spirits, entities. I want to say fairies, but something along those lines, but go with caution. Work with spirit in general. If you're not sure which direction to go in, just spirit in general. Do tarot readings, do readings for yourself, follow moon phases, get into the spiritual component. Talk to the moon, talk to the full moon, talk to the new moon, speak out your intentions, that sort of stuff. You don't light any candles unnecessarily, don't do spell candles, stay away from any herbal magic, all that sort of stuff. You just do the spiritual stuff. And these are just some examples of the spiritual component. Work on that. Do that until you feel very grounded, very sure and certain about that. And then throw in a spell casting. I say that because I think a lot of people are coming from, there's two things. A very pragmatic mind is going to feel more comfortable attaching to the spiritual piece than just going straight into spell casting. It kind of, it makes it more real. Also, people coming from religious backgrounds, they're more comfortable with the spirituality than spell casting. So you might need to go all in on that before you cast a spell. It just makes sense for a lot of people. I think I'm probably one of those people where the more I dug into the spiritual component, the easier the easier it was for me to go all in with spell casting. and to have more successful spells. So that's my suggestion tip on that. And again, to the witch or the practitioner looking at other practitioners or witches, and curious to know if the magic is really working for them. Is that really all just magic? Is that why they're so successful? One, don't be jealous. Nobody likes a jealous witch. But more importantly, I would say, instead of asking that question, mimic that witch's confidence. It's not copying, it's fine. Mimic her confidence. Mimic that confidence she's exuding that you're seeing, and it makes you look at her, give her a second look. Mimic that. See if you can pull that off for yourself until it becomes real. Fake it till you make it. I take this is the same strategy. Let's say you want to change your wardrobe, how you dress, and you don't know how you want to dress. You just want to dress differently. You don't like the colors you wear all the time. This happened with my daughter. We talked about this. I said, find a style icon. Find someone, a celebrity, influencer, someone about your build, or, who dresses the way you like. Her aesthetic is what you really admire. Doesn't matter what she talks about, just what she looks like. Then, as you go shopping, find those pieces. Because there's some people who have no idea how to match up and do that sort of stuff. Find that, use a style icon and build like a capsule wardrobe of 5 outfits or something, 3 to 5 outfits, whatever that it means for you. And, build from there. You get better at it. Same thing. Find a witch that you like her aesthetic, her witchy aesthetic. You like maybe more of the more content, the other stuff of her as well, what she talks about. And, I'm being very careful. I'm not telling you to copy her. What I'm saying is that part, like the wardrobe thing, don't copy the person exactly. You're not doing everything, but just their styles, the colors and the tones that they use. Find things like that for you. Find that for you, her confidence, her ability to be so knowledgeable, actually do the work of learning and then applying said knowledge. So now that you don't just have knowledge, you have experience for yourself. It's not to prove to anybody else, but put yourself on that level. Be confident. That's all. That's what I got to say about that. So just a couple more tips about spell results. So tips for tracking spell's results. Write your spells down, especially to those who are just in with a couple spells under their belt or none at all. Write them down. Yes, regardless of whether or not you believe it's going to work or not. Before you know for certain, write it down. Leave space and have a separate page or a note card, an index card, however you're tracking, whatever you want to do. Title at the top, spell results. Date each occurrence or incident that you relate to being some sort of result of that spell. And when I say some sort of, I'm being vague for a reason. After a spell, sometimes I'll have a dream. It'll affirm what I did the spell work for. And I feel like that's the message from the universe, ancestors, the goddess I'm working with, whoever I petition, helping me to do that. My higher self as well, saying this is achievable, see, and I can dream about it. That's one. Write those things down. Symbols. If you see something that symbolizes the thing that you're doing the spell work in any capacity, date, saw a feather, it was, a white feather, I was asking for blah, blah, blah. I understand that a white feather means something related to this thing I was talking about, or it's a yes from the universe, regardless of what you were doing. A friend of mine happened to tell me about this company that I wanted to work for. I had no idea. I didn't even see, I was applying for jobs. I didn't see this. And, she told me to go directly to the website. She just randomly told me this. I don't know why. I hadn't been talking about looking for a job, but I did that spell. Date that conversation, write it down. So what you're going to be doing is creating like a magical timeline of results, because the way I see results of a spell works like this a lot of times, at least for me. I see it as the spell is pushing the energy out into the universe, the atmosphere, the ethers, right? It's the ethers, it's going out there. And me doing that spell work and raising energy and then sending it out is momentum. So it's like a force just went out, and now this force is moving and it's gaining speed. And every iteration, the dream, the friend that talked to me, the feather I found, the this, the that, like it's just getting more momentum. And so finally it's like there. Everything that I was talking about that I wanted to manifest, the spell, everything is just there now. It has spun so much momentum. It's created something out of almost, it appears nothing, you know. That's how I see the results working. So I you know, maybe you want to adopt that kind of way of thinking those small little things are building to more momentum, to making it, you know, and you should get excited about that, because that means it's coming, you know. The thing that you're manifesting, the thing you did the spell work for, it's happening, it's in effect now. But that's why it's important to write it down. Also, you can now, you have this spell, you see the level of success that you're working with, and you have a timeline. It may not be exact going forward. It could be shorter or maybe longer, depending, because you might tweak this spell going forward. You know, you might want to use this spell for a promotion. You get what I'm saying? So it's a little tweaking, so that might change the time frame a little bit on how fast it works. Or you might be doing it for someone else. Are they as ambitious as you? Did they apply for as many jobs in one sitting as you did? You know, did they put themselves out there, or their resume up to par? That sort of stuff. That kind of matters too, because you can cast all the spells you want, but like, again, if you're not actively aligning with the concept of the spell, which is to look for a job or something like that, then, you know, if you're not doing anything, then it most likely isn't going to work. You're just sending, you know, like blanks into the universe. That energy is not potent enough to really do anything. You know, you just sent a little something up, but you might get something. Maybe somebody will call you and tell you somebody's hiring, but it's up to you to actually follow through, that sort of thing. All right, so writing down spells, writing down results is important. Another tip is to take a totally different, a different approach. I like to call it whimsical realist. So let me tell you what that means. Be a whimsical realist means know that anything is possible, and sometimes the unexpected can occur. I'm looking at my notes because I love that I wrote this. At the same time, be aware of universal law, the earthly laws that bound us, and your own capacity and willingness to understand magic. Whimsical realist. So back to the example of like a new job, wanting a new job, doing a spell for that. You can't get the job without applying, right? That's the realist part. That's being a realist. Okay, that's just that's how it works. You know, I mean, there's off chances that you don't have to apply for a job, and maybe a mom and pop or something, you know, you walked in and he's like, hey, do you know how to do this? Yeah, all right, you're hired. Yeah, it could happen, but for most of us, that's probably not how it's gonna happen. Let's just be honest. The whimsy part, this is fun. So think of new apartment spell, think like that, right? So if you're applying for a new apartment and you know you don't meet the income requirements or the credit criteria or whatever, you know, the thing that would make them tell you no, you don't fit that. So guess what? You apply, you did a spell because you know, and you know you're supposed to be in this place. You feel it, you dream about it, you've done scripting about it, you've done vision work about it, you've toured their model like 5 times. So you finally put the application in, knowing your situation, but knowing it doesn't matter because this is your place. And you get approved. That's that mystical, mystical, but whimsy realist. You knew you had to apply. You could be, you know, wanting it, visualizing all you want, but until you go for it, you know, that's the realist part. You got to actually do something to go for it. That whimsy is the part where, okay, you don't fit the credit criteria, you don't fit the income requirements, but apply anyway and get it. And that's where that magic comes in. And this is where people get really flabbergasted about magic, because they're like, how did that happen? Well, are you sure? Maybe you thought your stuff was really that bad and it wasn't, or maybe you didn't understand what the requirements were. If you've been to a place about 3-5 times, looking at the model, talking to the people, you know. You've been on the website, you looked at the pictures, you trust me, it matters to you, those requirements. So you're very familiar with them, but somehow it works out. That is a high. When that happens, by the way, when you do spell work and something that I guess everybody else would say shouldn't have happened, and it's an awesome feeling when you know that was you that did that, and that will make you stop questioning, is this real? Because you now know it. You've recorded it. This stuff is happening. Like that's an amazing feeling, by the way, when that does happen. And if you get the chance to do it for someone else, it's somehow even better because it's like, wow, I really helped them. I use Magick and I, help them, get that place that they couldn't qualify for, or they thought they couldn't qualify for, because apparently the magic worked and they did. So that's what I wanted to talk about today. It's that capacity to think about what if it could? What if I could get it? What if it did work? As opposed to, I wonder how does this work? Is it gonna work? I don't know if this stuff is really real. Should I buy all this stuff? Is it evil? And you get into all these crazy, fearful thoughts. Like that, again, back to my example. I think I said on this video, either you can choose to be all in or you can choose to be doubtful. It's still energy either way. It's just pick the one that you want to do and do it. That's all I'm gonna say. And again, back to answering the question, how do you know if magic is real? Because you say it is, you believe it is, and that's it. It's a choice. It really is. It's a choice. It's not a thing for anyone to convince you, for me to convince you, or you to convince anybody else. The only person, it's not even convincing, it's just believing, experiencing, learning, and that's just the process. And you just continue on that way into your old age, and then you move on into the next point of existence. That's just how it works. All right. Stay tuned, because I'm going to do video on the anatomy of a spell and breaking that down, which I think for people who might be struggling with this, that they'll probably get some value out of that video. And I'm going to get very detailed about that. So I'm looking forward to doing that video. More of my kind of series. You'll see more videos about just structuring your spirituality and your magical life a little bit more, to be more effective in your spell casting, to be a better witch, so that all of this resonates with you and you're not just, consuming stuff, buying stuff, and it's not really, doing anything for you. And then next thing you know, you're no longer practicing. So that's all I got. So thanks for watching. I'm Mika. This is Leap Taken. Please like, subscribe, share. And if you have already subscribed, thank you very much. I really appreciate it. And as always, thanks again for watching. And please comment as well. All right, bye.